Double Fine shirt. Isn't that cool? Look at that. If any of you guys didn't know, Double Fine's awesome. They're up in San Francisco. I live in San Mateo, which is like 20 minutes south of the city, and those guys let me squat in their offices and make my game. So that's pretty awesome. So loved Double Fine. So anyway, so version 0.27 down here. We just put it out, and there's a bunch of new things. Let me just go ahead and go into the game. If you guys have any questions along the way, that's kind of what this time is for. Let me know if the sound of my voice versus the sound of the game is one of them's too loud. But so let me see. Okay, this is just a random game. What is going on here? Let's just go to a I don't know, what do you guys want? A private C, a tech B, or a military A? I don't think I have an interface, so I think I'm gonna go with tech B. I also don't think I have any ship upgrades. Do I? I don't. This is not continued off from 0 to... I should have. You know what I should do is when I'm doing these things, I should save my game, my data, because I reset it a lot because I'm always testing. And so I was a little nod to the fact that, yeah, the military is good, but if you have an interface, but I don't have an interface, because then you can turn on the ship's defenses. What do I have? No, not that one. I don't have any ships, and I have 2 drones. Okay, so here, sorry about this. I had to play the game at 1280 by 720 just because I'm really worried about the internet usage and if this thing will start to lag. But these are the new drones. I wasn't gonna give this away, but I guess it's kind of cool to see them on the stream. They're kind of rare. We have a less chance of you finding these guys, not because they really do anything special, just because we added 2 new drone types and they have different views. Keep in mind that with the views, they're different. So every drone has its own view now. And then the views within themselves will vary, and I don't know if they vary from drone to drone or from run to run. I don't remember, but basically, like, this asymmetric guy right here that I don't have a name for, Nathan, he kind of has this Tron view where all the lines are kind of very Tron-like, and then Ron here actually has a view that you guys might have seen before. It's really... Brendan calls it the Terminator view. It's red and it's like got all these dots and it does weird lines on things. So, however, in this playthrough, usually the Tron view is like purple and green or whatever, and in this playthrough, I think it's red. So all of these views are now red in this run. So, for whatever that's worth, we'll just pretend that we're very angry. So hold on, let me switch things around here. Motion and gather is good. I don't know about tow on my primary drone. Generator, stealth. Oh, so I want to show you guys the new stealth stuff. Trap probe. Yeah, that'll do. Let me show you guys the new stealth stuff. So basically, a lot of let's go over real quick, like some of the things that we're. Oh, I'm not in the boarding thing. I'm just in drone config. So some of the 2 new things we've got. So the 2 new drone models, that'll be kind of fun to show off. And again, if you guys have questions, let me know. Okay, so here is our new drone, Nathan. So one of the things that we noticed a lot about the drones is that they were all very symmetrical, or symmetric. Why symmetric and symmetrical? Why are there 2 words there? I should really just... I prefer symmetric. Anyway, but so many people say symmetrical. So we kind of wanted something that wasn't so symmetric, and so we created this new drone. And then Ron here is just a little kind of more angular and pointy, and he has a really funky view of the world, which is kind of fun. And then Brandon, unfortunately, even though he's also got that, like, what we call the Tron view, where you've got these kind of cool lines going. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You got these cool lines going, and then all of these detail lines are very strong in this one, as opposed to the really, fuzzy, dotty one that you guys are used to. And then this one, obviously, is cranked up with that, with these kind of horizontal lines and then these really hot spots that are going between red and white and stuff like that. Anyway, so these are 2 new drones, and it's going to be rare that you find them, so I'm a jerk, and I'm just showing you stuff that you might not be able to play with. But, whoa, hey now. Reroute power, that thing's useful. Actually, so reroute power is even more useful now, and I'll get into that in a second, but I really kind of did, wow. Reroute. I guess the people who were in this ship really like to change their, what is going on, man? I have changed this game in horrible ways. Look at all this stuff. Oh god. 3 reroute powers. I hope we didn't test in any test code. Check in any test code that was like testing our reroute power. Oh, here's the new Gatling, or not Gatling. This is the new defense turret. It's kind of hard to see with this. Well, it's okay to see with this view. In the version 0.26, when we checked them in, there was a stupid bug that made it so that they didn't appear, and so they were kind of gone. And that was kind of a, I don't know what you would call it. I guess that was a, we kind of blue-balled you guys with this promise of a new defense turret and didn't provide it. Anyway, so I'm gonna bring in, actually before I do anything, R3. I'm gonna bring in drone 3 and just like, maybe we're gonna commandeer this vessel because it's obviously got more than we've got. But for now, we're just gonna loot this stuff just in case things go wrong, right? This is kind of like our just in case plan. Oh, here's a bug. I guess we've introduced this. Maybe it has to do with the view, but the ship upgrade is kind of invisible now. This is one that we've been told. Will you go that far? Oh, you will. And then one can... I should really be cool like you guys and have this cool alias that just drives the drone in, picks up the tow, and then gets the heck out. But I'm not. So this one is a... Okay, so this is really interesting. See how this one... Maybe it has to do with the drone view. See how this one... This shows up, and this one it's invisible. Sorry if I'm being a developer right now. But it's what I am. Alright, is there anything else? We can't tow anything else. But you know what we can do? We can unleash the probe so that we can get some more scrap, maybe. Anything else hiding in here? No. Yeah, there was. Oh, come on, man. You don't want to... Don't... you know what? I kind of want to leave it, but I find it funny that the probe goes and tries to scan, like, your ship. I'm always, like, having to close down my docking bay, because I'm like, dude, I don't want you to scan my ship. A1, map 2, 3, and generator. Alright, what do we got? Do I have a motion? I do. And look, it actually worked, and we can go get another drone. Alright. I should be talking about all the other really cool things that we added, huh? And I didn't lose you guys, did I? Test. You guys are all still there, right? I'm always worried with this, with my internet situation, that all of a sudden I'll start lagging, and then I'll be talking to myself for a while. Tim, look at that. You've got a kind of busted up probe. So one thing that I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have any opinions on it, but I do think that the upgrade breaking is going a little bit slow right now. I always intended you guys to have upgrades for about 4 to 5 missions or something like that. And now that they don't always break down because you don't always use them, which is fine. They last a little bit longer, and because we changed the upgrade breaking, they last a little bit longer. However, there are settings, right? We've got like, what would you call it? We've got the difficulty settings. Oh, that reminds me. And I don't know, we might not have them when you're in the game. Yeah, see, so we gray out difficulty so that you can't access it. But we now added, a lot of people asked for, if you're getting, to get a warning every time you open up an airlock, which I find I wouldn't want that at all, because that would be really annoying if that happened every time, because I'm doing that a lot. However, some people I know really wanted that, and I totally get it, because, you know, a typo. We made it so that airlocks and doors, you know, it's A1 instead of D1 and stuff like that, but I could still see that a typo could get you sucked out to outer space. So maybe when you're first playing the game, oops. Maybe when you're first playing the game, that's a good thing. What are you doing, dude? What's going on? Oh, I taped end. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, here we go. 3, 2. Okay, so we have, like, we've just gotten, like, everything off of this ship. With, like, no effort. So, the game, we've just made it incredibly easy, guys. You guys aren't going to have to worry about anything. Yeah, I will save the rest stuff for hard mode, and actually, I might do more modes. In between, right? Because one of my... I really liked when I played... what was it? When I played Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, I think. I really liked how there was a slider of difficulty, so I don't really think we just need easy, normal, hard. I think we can maybe do 0 to 10. That way people can kind of ratchet up a little bit as they go. Any chance to see so many times requested first-person camera? Has that been requested a lot? I don't know. I go on the forums and I haven't seen that request a lot. I think, yeah. First-person camera. Yeah. So that, if you've ever made a game, yeah, on the drone, yeah, that would be awesome. That would be really cool, and to have it like up in the corner, and it would add a lot of atmosphere. But none of our assets and all that stuff. It's just, it would be so much work. To get that atmospheric effect, and I know that we could make it grainy and make it look kind of crappy, and the game is in 3D, so we could do it. It's just, we have like a list of like 800 things that we're trying to do, and that one is like a major one, and it would be cool, but it wouldn't really change the gameplay at all. I mean, it might, in the fact that when you're driving your drone in and you saw an enemy, and you would definitely add a lot of atmosphere, but that's like a big ask right there. So I'll tell you what, like, if the game is doing really well and selling gangbusters, then I'll consider it. But for right now, it's pretty unlikely. Okay, so we've got a bunch of baddies in a bunch of rooms. The only problem is here, I don't know about R6 and R7 if they're clear. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this whole herding thing. What do we got? We got the stealth. Oh, you know what? Let's try the stealth. Just for yucks and giggles. Because... one of the things we're trying to do in this update is we're trying to make a lot of the upgrades balanced, and by far, so the game is not in 2D. The gameplay is in 2D, but if you look, there is like parallax going on here, and you see how these walls are kind of slanted slightly, and if I move, this is a really narrow corridor. It's really hard to see here. Oh yeah, so look at this. So watch this end wall. Nah, it's hard to see. But you see how it's kind of moving there? And underneath the drone, that's a 3D model. And we haven't done enough glitch effects so that you can see a lot of this stuff underneath there. But yeah, it is a 3D game. So one of the things we were trying to do with the game is basically, we were trying to balance out some of the upgrades. And one of the things is stealth is like really overpowered. So what we did was we made it that when you go and stealth into a room, if there's an enemy like this patrol bot, and then, like, I bump into him. See how he just, like, looked at me? And now he's gonna kind of go over there. This is a baby step, of course. So, I mean, it's pretty damn So, the probe is what I lovingly refer to as, like, the, you know, the wet blanket of the... Oh, shit. Okay. So, he's kind of the wet blanket of the scary enemies. Uh-oh. How many enemies are there in this? 2. Okay, that event's making me worried. Alright, let's get out of here. D8. I didn't leave any doors over there. D16. Oh, look at me with 51%. Oh! Okay, so check this out, right? I'm just gonna show this off. So I'm gonna bump into him, and he's, whoops, oh shit, So he's gonna come over and investigate. Actually, I thought he was gonna pounce on me. So what we do is we're kind of making it that, like if you're stealthed, God, hold on. Ow! I just got slammed in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Nathan, what's up, buddy? You just got hurt. You just got hurt pretty bad. That hurt. Okay, so what you just missed. Sorry. What you guys just sort of saw there, other than me just getting reamed into the corner. So I get what you're thinking right now. When I show that stealth mechanic and I bump into things, you're like, how often are you going to bump into the damn thing? It's still overpowered. But if you think about it, look at this ship, right? So let's say you're using stealth to explore down this narrow corridor. You can't help but bump into them. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to back up and you're going to have to find another way around. Keep in mind that like what we're trying to do is take baby steps with these things. I'm not trying to nerf everything down by just hurting it so much. I'm trying to make it so that the game is more balanced. So what we're doing is we're taking baby steps. So okay, we're R6, R5, R2, R7. Oh, well, that's like everything. I'm realizing I made a game that's kind of, actually, I guess it's maybe not too hard to stream, but like if you're goofing around like I am, then it's hard to stream when you're trying to like explain all these concepts. Did we have a motion? Oh, he had the motion. Alright, where did the probe, oh, the probe is dead. Okay, things are happening. Probe, oh, no, come back here. You little bastard. Alright, I'm gonna wait. Actually, that would be a really bad idea to wait for the asteroids to hit because I don't want to lose Nathan. Actually, Nathan's gone. Nathan is dead, but his precious gatherer and stealth and motion I want. How do we get them? I guess we use you. Alright, Brandon. Let's do this. So there's a patrol bot that I have to deal with. D12, trap, D12, don't go, you're an idiot. Oh, probes. You know what, it's your own fault. Boom. Okay, now we're alright, D12. Oh my god, he's alive. How did you live through that? Oh my god. How the hell did he live through that? Okay, so here's another cool thing. You guys asked for this. The patrol bots now, when they die... Okay, there's some spoilers in here. Alright, and I apologize. And obviously if you're watching this, you're probably okay with that. But the patrol bots now, when they die, they give you precious scrap. Now, I don't want to give you guys more scrap, so that's not why I did it. I did it so that you guys would vary up your strategy and not always suck everything out of airlocks. Because it might be that you can get cool scrap out of it. Also, just the fact that killing an enemy, I don't want you guys, I don't want the game to be geared around killing enemies, and I don't want to reward you for it normally. But, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. Who has things? I have no, other than Ron. We're gonna meet in R2, and we're gonna swap some upgrades. Because Ron is the only one that has extra slots on him. Oh, actually, my dead bot probably does. I love how they meet like this. Here, take my probe and take my toe. Alright, nav 3 R5. No. No, dude. Wait, is it R5? Yeah. Oh, typo. Not R4. Right. Hold on. Let me get the gather real quick, and then I'll keep talking about what I'm talking about. Oh, the fact that they drop scrap is really cool. Ooh, between those two, I guess this one. I might be able to just ferry some things. Gather. Oh, whoops. I forgot about that whole impending doom thing. R6, R5, R2, R7. Alright, let's just wait it out, alright? Let's see what happens. Oh, we might lose our... Okay, so this is another thing that we're going to do, is if asteroids hit, we're going to make it, instead of being radiation that floods, we're going to make it create a vacuum, which makes more sense. If there's like a giant hull breach, then that would create a vacuum, which could be really dangerous if you think about it, because that could, you know, cause a chain reaction of events. Kind of like radiation does, but a little bit more brutal. But then you could also use that as an advantage. Like right now, if it hit R6, I could then use R6, like I could use D7, D16, and D15 as airlocks, right, to kill things. Alright, so R5. You got hit. Oh, and that's where Nathan is. Oh, here's another change. If you want, you can risk it. So, what we've done... Oh, Brandon has 0 out of 100. That's really great, Tim. Good thinking. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys... I'm going to show you guys. So now I have an empty slot, and I'm going to go get the motion sensor off of him. Nav 2... Oh, wait. Alright, this is tricky. Because I'm an idiot, and Drone 1 doesn't have any health, what I'm going to have to do is switch their roles here. Drone 3, you are now the generator, because you are a mutton head. Oh, look at this! Oh, there's the bug. Their likenesses are not showing up. Okay. Oh, you know what? Because these are 2 new drone models, and we probably haven't populated this menu. Oops. New bug. Let's see. Generator. So you're gonna get the... I'm gonna take the generator. You take the stealth. I'll take the probe. You take the trap. There we go. Role reversal. Look at that. We're working on our feelings and what it would be like to be the other drone. What Ron would be like to be Brandon. Think about that, guys. Alright. So here I'm going to show... So what we've done with radiation is... you'll see that R5 is now flooded with radiation. Pretty bad, right? Before, that would do about 38 HP of damage per second. It would ramp from 2 to 30. Okay, but now what I have is I have it ramping from 2 to 5. And the reason why is because I think it's more interesting if you create scenarios like this where there's some risk-reward, right? Ow, 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 ow. Oh, what am I doing? Oh god. That was that 5 HP per second? I had 110. Yeah, I guess that's only 5 seconds. Oh. Wait. No. Yes. No. That's 20 seconds. That's 110 HP at 5 per second. That should have been 22 seconds, something like that, right? Am I crazy? Why did we not change that? I thought it was... Okay, so the moral of the story... Alright, now I'm going to kill my other drone just because I want to see. Nav3, D8, Nav3, R2. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think it's like, so let's watch. Ow. He didn't have any HP. Yeah, no, I think if we go back and relook at that, that was going way faster than 1 a second. I'm going to write this down. I have a thing. Here we go. Alright, so it looks like the radiation upgrades didn't work out so fast. Okay, so one of the upgrades was supposed to be, or one of the changes in v0.27 was supposed to be that tick down slower. So imagine if I had 20 seconds, right? So what I'm now risking is that motion sensor, to me, worth going in and getting out? And let's say I could do it in 10 seconds. That would cost me 50 HP, which is probably about 5 scrap if we want to be really, you know, analytical about it. And is that worth it to me? Whereas before, as soon as we flooded with radiation, there was no going in it. And even if you had a shield, now we've added a shield mod that you can that it is radiation proof, but I don't want to make that the only way to do it. So I kind of, I'm trying to tweak numbers so that you can do more things, right? So that you can take risks and create some crazy strategies. Because let's say that had your only generator on it and you didn't want to, you didn't have enough scrap to be able to afford to craft another generator or something like that. Like, that would be really cool. Yes, the moral of the story is that I totally screwed up. Not only in the game, but also in making the game. So hold on, I'm going to go back to you guys' comments just to make sure. All right. Old school mode that makes everything green. We could totally do that. I do want to add a degauss. So like literally in the options, so you can go and degauss your monitor, and it would just like shake and do that thing. If you don't know what degaussing your monitor is, look it up. It's cool. Yeah, I also was thinking about having security cameras. So you're talking about a first-person cam, like in the actual in the game. We wanted the interface to be able to access those ship cameras and be able to look at them. Because if you ever notice, when your drone dies right now, we leave the camera feed up, and you can use that as information, right? And I want to make it staticky, and maybe sometimes you lose it. But that gives you information, and that's essentially like having a sensor in the room. So that's pretty useful. ETA on the the alias arguments. So alias arguments is on the list. It's not a really high priority at the moment. I mean, it's not a low priority. We want to get it in there, but it's somewhere in the middle, because there's things like, what I really want to do with the next update is work on the ships. So the ships right now, the only thing that you do is it's how many slots does it have for ship upgrades. That's the only reason you would commandeer. But I really want to add in things like, possibly limiting the amount of scrap that you can carry, maybe drone slots, a couple different things that start to make that ship feel more like a ship that you're commandeering for a reason. And maybe the shape that it's in affects how quickly we do have in the game, and no one's probably really found it, but you know how your drone view cuts out? Your schematic view can cut out, which is really cool. And maybe when your ship is getting beat up, and that could be something that in the later game adds a lot of maintenance that could be fun as a metagame, that the early player doesn't have to deal with. Because what I don't want to do right now, and a lot of people probably want this, is make it so that when you start in the game, the further out you go, the harder it gets. I don't know, I have these hang-ups about the realism of the game, and I feel like that's not realistic. It feels gamey to me. It also feels like that might mess up player stories, because if like the universe is always random, then instead of always getting harder, like it might be that I start in this really hard spot or really easy spot, or there's a lull in between at this perfect time, and I love the player stories, and I love the random things that happen and hearing those. So I'd rather not increase the difficulty that way. I'd rather do something like, ships get harder and harder to find, and just scraping by and surviving for some reason. So those are kind of things that we want to do, and the aliases would be really cool. Another thing I really want to do is ensure we have certain commands work really well when you chain them. Like if you say navigate here and then generator, it'll do that nicely. But if you do things with doors, they happen immediately. So what would be nice is people want like a delay command, but I think better than that would be making it so that semicolons generally made things act sequentially rather than in parallel. And then you could do those nice chains. But I'm definitely going to add in the alias arguments, and actually Brandon is working on, I don't know if I should talk about it, but he's working on this cool thing where we could maybe have a cool site where people could swap alias files and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's coming, but I don't know if it's probably not coming in the next update, probably maybe the one after that. Nathan got a hug. Oh, so you might have also noticed that when we added collisions to the enemies, they also now, when when the brute slams into you, you go flying. Way too hard right now. I want to, you know, we're going to change that, but I always felt like it didn't feel visceral enough. And so just when we added collisions, that happened for free. So I'm really happy about that. Oh, so before I get too derailed by all the questions, one thing that I did want to talk about is the stealth stuff. So it is a baby step. And what you're probably saying is that, oh, I'm not going to like walk into a brute, right? So like the stealth is still way overpowered. So first of all, we're doing it one thing at a time. Second of all, in narrow corridors, like I said, that's going to make you have to use another mechanic. And we're also probably maybe going to increase that so that if you go like too close to a brute, or maybe even swarms are way more perceptive or something like that, they're more aware of you. So this is another way, because I see like people doing exploits where they're just driving around with the stealth and they're driving right through enemies and stuff like that. And so obviously we're trying to stop all that. So I do think that that will help nerf the stealth a little bit. I don't want to nerf it incredibly, but that'll make it so that it's not just like, oh, I've got stealth, like I can explore any ship. Uh-oh, there are narrow corridors. Uh-oh, there are like swarms and they kind of sense me more or something like that. So this is the first step on the path to making some of these upgrades more balanced. So I would love feedback when you guys play it a little bit to see what you guys think, but this is definitely only the first step. All right. Why is everything red? Yeah, it's just random. These two views. Actually, I think that the view on that angular drone is always going to be red, probably, but that Tron view on the asymmetric drone is not always red. Sometimes it's different colors. It's just I happen to have two that are red. If asteroids cause a vacuum, would it also cause radiation? Yes. Yes, it would, but it wouldn't really matter because the vacuum of the two is, you know, is more violent and, you know, even if you're leaking radiation. So, all right, let me just talk about radiation for a second. So the idea is that radiation is obviously my hammer for this needs to be balanced. So my idea is that the ship had all these pipes running through it, and when it was structurally damaged, like radiation would start to leak, and when that got to bad levels, that could mess things up. The thing when you open up an airlock and radiation comes in, that is literally to ensure that there aren't exploits where you can totally use the airlocks for horrible things. And I know that there are other things that balance that out, like we do break room objects and we do suck out all the cool stuff that's inside as well. But that's what that is for, and we are reworking radiation slowly over time. It's something where we just gave an on-off switch for it, so if people got annoyed by it, and we're slowly adding in a little bit at a time. Like right now we're making it so that it's less damaging, so you can still risk it to go in there, and then we're going to make it so it goes through vents, and we're going to make it so that maybe those rooms, if you use the surveyor, actually maybe I could do that. Maybe, well, I'd have to find a surveyor, but if there's a surveyor mod that will show you how structurally sound each room is and what the radiation levels are, and so that'll give you like more warning. But we also could make it that when it's exposed to a vacuum, those are more likely to leak radiation. And we could also make it that when you open an airlock, that'll suck the radiation out, but if radiation is leaking, basically you've gone from the 5 HP per second, you've gone back down to like the 1 or 2 HP per second, but it will reflood with radiation. Yeah, so I wrote that down. That was going way faster than 5 per second. Serious question. Have you checked the game Dead Knots? I have not, but I've heard a lot about it and it looked really cool. And I guess it's kind of like the inverse of this, where it's human characters and they can kind of freak out and not do things. And it looks really pretty and it looks really cool. So I definitely want to check that out. Right. All right. There isn't even a volume. I don't know what that means. There isn't even a volume. A volume on the stream? There should be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Swarms are more perceptive thanks to some nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to make all of the enemies feel different, and that's why I haven't just added in a ton of enemies. I've got ideas for additional enemies, but we're not going to have like 20 enemies in this game. We're going to have a few enemies that are very different. Like slime is very different than brutes, is somewhat different than swarms. So the more I can extrude that by making certain things work on them and certain things not, and a spoiler, like radiation is one of those things. Like we're trying to balance the game, but we're also trying to make it that certain things act differently. Right, so we're actually thinking, one of the things that I wanted to do for this drone update that I didn't get in was the drones. I want the drones, so we always intended the drones to have these, upgrades that you could slot in and slot out, and that way you could dynamically change things on the battlefield, if you will. But like there where I swapped out and 3 became the generator drone because he had 0 HP. So one of the things that I'm looking at doing is maybe making it so that certain drones do have permanent upgrades in them that are different, that are like passive upgrades. So imagine a Geiger counter. So you find a drone that has a Geiger counter on it, and so maybe you use him as your scout, and when he's in a room, it crackles, and you hear it, and you're like, okay, this is kind of a risky room. And then when you lose that drone, you can't salvage that upgrade off of it, and it's just gone. And that would give an additional way that the drones have personalities while still allowing the major things, like the upgrades, to be really dynamic. So that's the hope. And the same thing with ships. When you commandeer a ship, maybe it has, something about it that makes it more, and that's related to it's a military ship or whatever, that makes it more appealing or less appealing. Is there a chance we will get... Oh, the views for the drones. Alright, sorry, I gotta scroll down. So the drone views, I totally get that so we do have options, just so that your friend knows, if your friend has the game, under graphical options, we do have stale data, which you can turn off, which is all the stuff that goes behind you, and this distortion, and noise. So the distortion is that kind of wobbly effect that you get, and the noise is this, you can kind of see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. My monitor is very dark. But that adds this kind of, CRT look to it. So you can turn those down, and the game would probably, be less strenuous on your eyes. However, I also do think, if you do like certain views, like maybe what we can do is either make a config file or maybe put it in the options that the drone, like these drone views are eliminated. Like you won't get a drone with these drone views, because I don't want someone not playing the game because of that. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Your Twitch is being dumb. Is everyone else's okay? I know that, like I said, my internet might not be the greatest. Yeah, so there are special space stations only accessible via the transport module, the ship upgrade. I actually did a lot of work on the outposts recently. So just so that you guys know, these things that I can't get to because it requires a transporter. I did a little bit of work on these. People were a little bit upset because we only tell you, hey, this is your last signal. And you're like, oh crap, it's in a room that's flooded with radiation, I'm screwed. Though I had a pretty epic game the other day where the last signal literally was in a radiated room, and I opened it up, drove all my drones in, and one at a time transported them out and got them all out. So it was pretty cool. But what I'm going to do is we now give you more signals on this. We give you more rooms that get signals, and we tick them down. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We tell you when your last signals are coming so that you're kind of braced for that. However, some of the things I'm not willing to change. One of the things is that you're not guaranteed that it's completely explorable unless you have a reroute power or pry or something like that, and I like that about Outposts. And then the other thing is simply that, you could get stranded, and that's a risk that you run if you let a weak signal go away and it's the only one you have. I think it makes it really exciting because usually they come back in the same rooms, but I've had some games where I've been sitting there praying for the signal to be in the right spot, and I think that's cool. Yeah. Right. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, thank you, Death Ranger. I'm glad that you like the game. Alright, so I'm going to, I hope that when you get pissed at the game, like, you do restart, because I think that's part of the game, right? So I'm just going to go aboard this ship. I'm trying to think of what else I haven't got. Oh, flags. So this is kind of a cool thing. So some people were asking for a flag command or a way to mark the map. I don't know why this is... It's always saying more messages below. I don't know how to make it so that it's just, like, at the bottom. Oh, I think I just did it. Okay, so I just boarded a private vessel, and private vessels, if you guys don't know, tend to be on 1 or 2 power strips, or power grids. And there's a car alarm going off. I hope you guys don't hear it. So what we did was we added flags. So let's say, oh, another thing that you guys might not have noticed before, because it was kind of subtle, you see these blue lines? And you see how they're on the map right here? Before they were the same color because we thought that they were too obnoxious, but that shows you where you've explored, right? So if you'll notice, now when I drive around here, there's blue lines around here. It's not just the room, but it's where in the room. So if there was a big room and you had to get out of there, you're like, oh, I never explored this upper corner. So that's one way that you can kind of mark the map. Another way, do I have a motion? I do. So R15 is clear, okay? So let's say I want to mark rooms that I don't know if they're safe or not. So I might say flag R12, R6, because neither one of them showed up on the motion sensor. And you see how they turn the same blue as this? This is kind of like our markup. Eventually, if you guys like this, we could add more colors or do other things. But this is just a way, like, a lot of people, when they were on, like, a really big ship, they wanted to know, like, can I, like, when I explore this thing, like, how is it, right? Alright, I don't... Oh, I have a whole new thing. Do I have an interface? I do not. Alright, but I do have motion. So now we might get to see... Or, sorry, a stealth. Now we might get to see some of the things about stealth that make it kind of interesting, because we have some smaller, narrower rooms, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close D5. I'm going to stealth. I'm going to open up D12. Cakewalk. Oh, wait. Listen for it. Do you hear the swarm? Whoa, lucky day. Man, maybe. So another thing that I did, just so that you guys know, who has tow? Oh, you have tow. Perfect. Actually, what do these guys have? Stun. No, damn you, Kelly. I'm sorry, I don't mean it. You gave me money to make my game. Double stealth. Oh, scan. That's a really good one. That makes me happy. Aha. Alright, 1, 3. So, what was I talking about? Alright, so now we know that R6 is cool, so I'm going to do flag R6, and turn that off. Uh-oh. So I think we found out... Okay, so there are tells in this game, and I don't want to ruin things for anyone. I don't want to spoil things. But this is a tell right here. Right? This is a really bad tell, but this is a tell. So I know now this ship has... We don't know how many infestation types there are, but since it's only 208 days old, I'm going to guess 1 or 2, and I know one of them. And how do I counter that? Oh, so here's an interesting thing. Like, normally what I would do is I would just seal this up, right? Well, no I wouldn't, because he doesn't have the stealth. I would just seal it up, and I would... Oh, okay. Good to know. don't want to lose v0.27, so I'm going to open that door up. Alright. And now, I can keep exploring. Oh. Guess what came out of there, everybody? Man. Okay, so flag R5. I don't know. I usually can keep track of these things in my head because I've played the game a lot, but I could totally see it being useful on a really big ship. But so whereas before, so let's see what's going on here, and this might be, so normally I think before in this situation, I probably shouldn't leave these guys piled up in front of the drone bay, but okay, so normally before, stealth was a little bit overpowered, and I'd just be like, well, yeah, there's swarms in there, but I'm just going to go in anyway. But now, I have to be a little bit more careful, because that's a really narrow room, right? So, I can tell that because it's a really long room, and wherever they're hanging out, I can probably jump across to R12. R12 being a big room is probably safer for my stealth, right? I hope so. Whoops. Wrong one. Okay, there's another swarm in here. So now I have to be a little bit more concerned and like back into this corner a little bit, right? This is like in a horrible spot, but like back into this corner a little bit here. Whoops, sorry. So that I don't alert them to my presence. And I've only got 19 left. Okay. So, right. Like, I feel like before what you would have done is you would have just driven right through them and opened up this door, driven right through them and stuff like that. So hopefully this is the beginning of a slight nerfing to stealth, but still making stealth worthwhile and cool. Let's see, did you guys have any questions? Yeah, we could totally add colors if you guys really find that it's useful. But I didn't want to start that way. I want to start with one and just keep it simple. Private vessels are worthwhile, I think, because you get that power grid that powers everything, so you can really barrel roll. Let's see. Okay. Any chance to get visual sound cues when below 15% stealth? So we do. We don't have a visual one, but if you'll notice, it flashes on and off. So when I do stealth, it goes like transparent, and it'll blink blue between blue and this when you're at, like, I think 25%, and then again it'll just do it the whole way when you're at 10%. So let's see if I can't go check out this, but this is really narrow. Okay, so see here, see how narrow that is? Like, I feel like when I go through this, see how they slowed down and they're like investigating? And if they come over here right now, they would attack me. We're a little bit kind. We're defaulting on the not too bad side, but we might make them more aggressive over time. So what else is in the game? Oh, so jump fuel. We added the ability. I don't know if there's one in this ship. And actually, should I try and make it through this ship? I guess I should try and make it through this ship. Hold on. What else? Patrol bots now drop some scrap. And that's really cool because it gives you something different to do with them. And there's another tactic because now it's like, oh, I want to kill this enemy. They also they do something that I don't want to give away. Oh, Gatling we renamed to turret, and we made that a little bit, like, we have a little bit less ammo. The Sonic upgrade doesn't automatically recharge between missions. You have to buy that with scrap. Teleport requires a 2-second charge, like stealth, but only 2 seconds to prevent that exploit where people were just like teleport, like teleport, semicolon scan, semicolon teleport back out, like, and you can like scan every room. Now because it takes 2 seconds, an enemy is going to attack you. Also, before people would use teleport and stealth together, but now if you teleport into a room and you happen to land on top of a enemy or very near an enemy, they'll be alerted to your presence and it'll take you 2 seconds to teleport out of there, so it makes it a lot more dicey. So hopefully that'll get rid of some of those exploits. The terminals. You're no longer going to get, before you were guaranteed ship scan and defense, and you're no longer. You might only get 1, you could get 2. It's a lot more random, and the number of ship defenses and terminals are a lot more random. I accidentally checked in a data file like way back in the day and never updated it without ranges. They were min and max of things were set to the same thing. So hopefully now there'll be a lot more variety in the ships. We've added the magnetic modification. Here, let me get out of here and show you guys some of these things. Because that's kind of cool. Because before, what would happen... I guess that's not exciting to just get out of here. I guess this isn't exactly a let's play. Maybe I should just do a let's play at some point and just not show off things. Oh, here. Let me go here real quick. So here's a trading post. It has a lot of stuff. But one thing that you'll note is here, you can now craft jump fuel at a outpost, which is kind of cool because I felt like sometimes people were getting bad rolls or whatever and they weren't getting enough jump fuel, and I don't want it to be cheap. And usually you can find it here at outposts, or at trading posts, sorry, like auto traders, but you can craft it. It costs 20 scraps, so it's really expensive, but you can. So no matter what, if you're cruising around the galaxy and you don't have a lot of jump fuel, you might want to look and be like, there is an auto trader here, right? So maybe I need to go here if I only have 1 jump, and then no matter what, if I can accumulate enough scrap, I can get at least 1 more jump. Or maybe multiple if I've been hoarding scrap or I have a bunch of extra drones or whatever. This is, again, a baby step. We were going to let you craft it on the ship, but that felt like then you don't need to worry about it as long as you have the scrap. But adding the auto trader and the crafting sort of, I think that makes sense, at least for now. When did you... Oh, so if you reset, so there's a new option if you want those first 4 ships. Those first 4 ships are called the nursery, and they're handcrafted to kind of teach you the game. So I don't want you guys to keep going through those because that's boring. But there is an option now under difficulty, and that is easy starting galaxy. If you enable that, you're always going to get the first galaxy is going to be guaranteed that it's not going to be too crazy. They won't be super easy like the nursery, but they'll be, only 1 or 2 infestation types tops, and generally not like radiation flooding and stuff like that. So that's a way that you can say, kind of like FTL or classic roguelikes, where like, okay, I'm going to start off and I'm going to be able to get some momentum because I'm guaranteed it'll be easy. Now normally we try to make it easy, but we don't guarantee it. This guarantees it. And here's the airlock confirmation. If you turn that on, every time you try to open up an airlock, it'll let you know. Yeah. Maybe anything else in here? I don't really know. Yeah. Anyway, what else we got? We've added some niceties. And again, I revisited all the outposts. There's now a chance that a ship interface will start broken. We renamed Gatling to Turret because people were getting always confused that you couldn't move. So we felt that might be a better name. And it also doesn't conflict with Gather so much because the first 4 letters were the same of Gather and Gatling. And then some things people would complain about, like one of the objectives under war, it asked you to go to an outpost and it was phrased poorly. It was, you had to find the correct outpost. Now we just make it so that if you just find an outpost, that'll be good enough. Any other age between 100 and 150? No. The age is going to be probably under 225 for the starting galaxy if you go with the easy ones. I didn't want to make it that there was only one in everything, because that seems like that would be, there's a lot of ships in an opening galaxy. If there are going to be 4 systems, then you could just troll through like 20, 30 ships. But some of them will have 1 infestation, and some of them will have 2, so you can go about it. Yeah, we could make it that you could kind of like throttle up and down in what is it called? Like with your speed, and maybe that could add into stealth. It does seem like it would be an extra bit of complication with the controls, but that might be cool if people like it. The story, that is a big, slowly. That is a big question, and actually I wanted to make, back in the day, before we had all of you awesome guys in playing the game, and we were in early access and we were sort of running out of money and needing to sell the game, I used to do weekly videos where I would go through the development process and talk about things, and I have a few I think that I did on the story, and I wanted to do one last week, but I'm just so busy trying to get this update out so that then we can do so that then we can push it to the default branch instead of the future branch, because there's some fraps issues and some YouTubers and Let's Players aren't able to play the game easily and stuff like that. So there's all this pressure to kind of keep putting out updates, and so recording a video takes time. But briefly, if it's possible, the way that the story started was going to be very loose. It was going to be that you were just going to find these logs and you were just going to kind of piece things together, and there weren't going to be these hard objectives. Then people started playing and they weren't reading the logs. It was going to be, kind of gone home, like, environmental storytelling. And then people weren't reading the logs, and we found that, like, people wanted something to do because eventually just surviving wasn't enough. So we added in the objectives right here, where, you're getting these things where there's this theory that comes up as soon as you discover this cool thing, and now they're like, okay, now go do this thing. And it's kind of more of this progression that players are used to, that it's just like, okay, I've done this and now do that. And none of them were like, go to this exact point. A lot of them were vague things like scan a class A or B station to see if there is nanobots aboard and stuff like that. So you didn't know where you were going to find that. You didn't know exactly. There are like 3 or 4 different ways to scan a ship, and so you didn't know which way it was going to go. So that seems like it was working. And then what we were going to do is we were going to do a bunch of those, and then some people, I was talking to Alex Austin, who's awesome, and he was saying like it would be really cool if you could play through and reach an ending, but then you could start over and play through and get another ending, which I thought was really a good idea. But the runs are really long, and then what is the notion of resetting? And there's kind of some sci-fi stuff that starts to get really complicated, and so we were trying to do that, and we had this nice graph out and we had planned it out, and then recently we were just, sometimes when things are hard or you're fighting against them, then that means it's not the right solution. And so what we started to do was we started to talk about, all right, what if instead of that, we had the scavenger hunt in the game that some people might not know about. Actually, if you follow the pandemic objective to its final destination in the alpha anyway, that was the old scavenger hunt. And in the old scavenger hunt, there wasn't an objective that came up on your screen. You had to read the logs and see, oh, they want me to do this, or like this was a thing, and so you would figure that out. So now, see if you can follow me on all this. What we want to do is we want to bring you, just like we do with the game, where we lead you along, we want to bring you from, hey, we're kind of hand-holding, we're saying this is the objective, go do it, then move you into these more scavenger hunty type of things where there are clues in the logs that kind of show where to go, and then to move from there into this really much more environmental storytelling, where then the resolution of that might just be in logs and about things without an actual thing to do, but you're just trying to find those logs to find out what happened to these characters, if you care about them at that point, which hopefully you would, or maybe you're a completionist and you just want to like get everything. So the idea would be is that we would kind of start you focused and sort of hand-holding by giving you these things, then cut your umbilical cord a little bit and make you read the logs and to figure that out, and then cut your umbilical cord a little bit more, and then have it really that the resolution of these stories are kind of out there in the ether, and now you're just trying to find those things. So basically taking it from what we originally had, pushing that way out, and then taking the objectives and pushing them to this side and making it a progression between the two. If that makes some kind of sense. It might be an experiment that horribly, horribly fails. But there's something that I keep saying whenever I talk to people about this game. And what it is that as soon as we put a command line interface into this game, it freed me. I suddenly thought, like, well, it's kind of like I've already stolen the car, like, so might as well speed at this point, right? I had already put a command line interface in this game, which I felt was like really weird and was probably not going to resonate with a lot of people, and I was wrong. But I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm just making the game I want to make. And so that freed me up. At every decision after that, I felt like I was betraying the game if I was like, oh, maybe I should hold back here. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Because I'd already kind of taken that giant leap of faith. And so why am I talking about this right now? It's just because, like, with the story stuff, some of the stuff that we're doing, like, it seems like we're doing some weird things with it, and it might be cool and it might not be cool, but I'm okay with doing it because I feel like, you know, like I said, like, we've already done a bunch of weird things in this game, so why not just keep going and just do what we want to do? So the only problem about the story is it's really hard it's really hard with the story to test that, to like have people give feedback like we can with the gameplay and we can with the art and we can with the audio, because it just takes a while to develop, and then by the time it's done, we'll probably have to push the game out. We won't be able to like iterate on it and be like, okay, everybody replay the whole story all over again. But I do think that in this game, one of the cool things about it is we're not in your face about the story. Like, if you want to play the game and not read, and just play the game and not have, you know, cutscenes interrupt you, you can totally do that. Like, the story, just hit escape. Like, don't go down onto these two things. Never hit those buttons, and don't worry about it. And then maybe at some point you will worry about it. Maybe at some point you will care more about it, and then you can go into it if you want to. But yeah, I think maybe I can do a video on the story stuff if people are interested in it. Maybe they're not. There's a lot of things I could do videos on. But yeah. Thank you. Just wanted to say that your game is awesome. I appreciate that. It's really nice to hear. I know it sounds funny, but, you know, when we're working on it and, you know, we're kind of cranking and we're doing things and stuff like that, it's really nice when on the forums people will either say they have a bug, or they'll say that they have a feature that they think would be awesome or whatever, and we love that stuff. And it's really cool because a lot of times people, especially in the beginning, when the game had just launched on early access, did a line at the beginning or the end that just said like they'd been playing it for, you know, 30 hours and they love the game or something like that. And like each one of those little comments really does like put wind in our sails. So know that like when you guys do a post and you're just like, I'm like super aggravated because I don't know, like this auto trader like seemed like it was bugged out and didn't have anything, or the random number generator or whatever, like, you know, when you put that line at the beginning or the bottom that's like, I do like the game, it does just make us feel better. You don't have to put it, but know that that does help make our day, because it's been awesome how this game has been has kind of been popular with people. We are way over time on what we have done. I kind of want to do at least one ship, just because. Let's just do something like a barge B or a tech C. Yeah, let's just do this real quick. I don't even know what I have equipped. I just totally got 2 new drones and I haven't been doing anything. And I think I have a scanner. No, nav 3, 1. Nav 3, 1, scan. Oh, look at that. I have regular drones now. Look at this. It's like we're in version 2.6. Alright. I gotta turn those off because I reset my data recently. Ooh. Oh, don't I have remote power? I don't. Oh, I reset my whole run. That's right. Alright. So I have tow, stealth, and scan. Wait, did I reset my run? I think I reset my run before or something like that. Alright, so tow, stealth, and scan. I think I need to have 1, 3, have 2, R4 generator. No. I have 2, 4, R4 generator. Not 3. Not you guy. You've got to swap with this guy because I don't want scan and gather on 2 different drones. That's just silly. That's just silly. There we go. Alright, let's see what we've got. We don't have a motion sensor. We do have a stealth. Alright, so I think I know what we're doing. Nav 1, R4. 3. Get out of the way. A1, D14, D13, stealth. Let's do this. Big room. Oh, maybe I should have, actually. I think I am gonna, because he's now my sort of exploring bot, I think I am gonna have the stealth on a different drone than the gatherer. And then he can kind of come in and clean up. Or the scan, sorry. Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a while. Oh, and with the green view, it's really hard to see them. Cute. Okay, this is a problem because this is a room. Oh, it's not a problem. Hold on. Hold, please. Oh, not powered. Cute. You know what? If there was only one enemy type detected right now, I would just open up all the doors and just rush through. But there are 2, and that is scary. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Where did he go? Whoa. It's kind of cool, because now I'm definitely a little bit more afraid of these guys. 14, 2. I really need that fuel. Ugh. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh sweet, that was worth it. That was worth the pain. Oh yeah. Got one propulsion, 1 jump, and I only lost 20 HP. That was totally fine. Take that, radiation. Do I have an interface? No. Whoa. Oh, damn it. Is it worth it? Oh god. Oh god, this stuff is all over the place. It might not be worth it. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. If I get over here and dock over here, I still need to power this thing, and in order to open this up to get rid of this slime, yeah, alright. Not exciting for a stream, but the right thing to do. And asteroids. Oh, that's like 8 minutes away, we're fine. Oh, jeez. Alright, well that's alright, because this stream has been running long anyway, and so I just wanted to get a ship out of the way. Your ship was taken over by the slimes. Yeah, it happens, right? will create and other obstructions ever show up on the schematic view? Yeah, moderator would be nice, or a bot that forbids links. Is that what's going on with this YouTube link gobbledygook? That's like a bot? Sorry, I'm not like Twitch hip. I just stream my development. Yeah, I could also use a mod. What would be really cool is to have somebody that was feeding me questions so that I could kind of play and then, you know, whatever, but c'est la vie. But yeah, maybe a mod. Yeah, maybe a mod would be good, or like you said, like a bot or something like that. I guess maybe I'll talk to some of the community guys and see if one of you guys would be interested in helping out with that. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys stopped by. I'm glad that we got version 0.27 out there. If you're brave enough and you want to go to the future branch, because next week, if we can vet this thing, I would love to push it out to everybody. And at that point, you know, if things break, everybody gets really, really mad. So hopefully we can catch some stuff this weekend. I'm going to push out an update in an hour or two, just to fix a couple little things. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. If you guys have any last questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, I'm hoping to now do this weekly. I don't think I'll be able to do it next week. Maybe I need to pick another day. Friday is kind of a bad day. Maybe I'll start doing them on Monday or something like that. So that I can be more consistent and do these weekly. And maybe I'll do a video to kind of talk about some of the design stuff if that's stuff you guys are interested in. Oh, and we might do a thing, I need to post this, we might do a thing with Jill. Jill, who originally did a bunch of the art for the game, has Twitch-controlled robots. And we might be, will the game be moddable? Probably not. It'd be something that would be awesome to add in later, but given the way that we architected it and given the amount of time we have, probably not. But so Jill, if you guys know Let's Robot, she has Twitch-controlled robots. That's what she went to do, and that's kind of where some of this data visualization kind of came from. And we're thinking about for Halloween maybe doing a Duskers in real life, where you guys via Twitch can control the drones and move them around and stuff like that. And I think that would be really fun. But it'll be a little bit of effort and a little bit of work to put it all together, so only if you guys are into it. So let me know if you guys are into it. I'll probably post it on the forums or on Twitter or something, and ask you guys' opinion. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and thanks so much for all the questions and all the stuff on the forums and all the support. We really appreciate it. All right? Go play version 0.27. Let me know if it works.